Hey folks, how you all doing? So today I'm going to do a contest entry for Richard McCook's channel. The contest is titled My Quarter Contest, which will be linked below at the top of the comment section, so you can head from mine to over there if you haven't already done his. The idea of his contest is to, one, be subscribed, which I know a hell of a lot of people are anyway. Next one is to show 4 eponymously titled albums. So for those of you who don't know, eponymously means self-titled. It doesn't mean debut. So any self-titled album by any artist. The next prerequisite is to show an album in your collection with a long album title character-wise. So commas, exclamation marks do count as characters. Try and make it the longest one in your album collection that you can obviously find or think of at the time. The third prerequisite is to show an album with the shortest title character-wise. There's also a bonus question there, which is as in the title of the contest, quarter contest. He's posed a question: what does a quarter mean? Is it 2.5 out of 10, 25%, a quarter? How is that related to Richard McCook's music channel or music in general with Richard McCook? So you get entries into his contest to win a £50 sterling gift card voucher from Amazon, etc. Anyway, let's get started. These are back to front. Start with the 4 eponymous albums. I have Madness with their self-titled album Madness. This is a US compilation from 1983. Why it was not called Greatest Hits Best Of, I don't know, but it is a compilation album. It was to cash in on the success of the single Our House in the US. Next up we have an album I haven't seen on the VC in the whole time I've been here. Get Wet by Get Wet, American pop duo who scored a minor hit here in Australia with Just So Lonely. In 1981 it was an even less minor hit, barely scraping the top 40 in the US. The single was called Just So Lonely. It's from this album. I don't believe they released any more albums apart from this one, so this is their debut album and one and only album, obviously. Get Wet by Get Wet. The third album I'm going to show that's eponymously titled, Don McLean's 1972 self-titled album, Don McLean. Pretty good folk album, this one. Nothing bad on it. Quite a few decent songs, in fact. This was always going to be a hard act to follow the American Pie album, which it was. It really bombed in the charts, but I think it's just as good as far as songwriting goes. Good album. Next up, I have Sandy Shaw's debut album from 1965 titled Sandy. Hope that counts, Richard. If not, I'll show ABBA's self-titled album, ABBA. But I'll go with Sandy anyway for this one. Yeah, self-titled album from 1965. There you go. So the second part of the quiz question, Richard wants us to show an album in our collection with the longest title character-wise. First one that came to mind for me was this one. I haven't checked if I've got any that are longer than this, but I really doubt it. Have Rick Wakeman's The Myths and Legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. There are 58 characters in this title. That's that album there. He also wants us to show an album with the least amount of characters. So I've got this one, Ed Sheeran. And that's with the equals character. So that's one character on that one. He also wants to, not as a prerequisite, but as a bit of fun, what does the quarter mean? 2.5, 20, 2.5 out of 10, 25%, etc., etc. I think it's probably the amount of views he's had on his channel. That's just as a guess. Yeah, just a wild stab in the dark. So 250,000 views on his channel, 250,000 thereabouts. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Leave your comments in the section below. Please subscribe to Richard's channel if you haven't already done so, and if you have, please enter this competition. I want to see what everyone's got in their collections. Anyway guys, stay safe, take care, all for now, catch you around, bye folks.